The Omega Speedmaster is one of the world's most iconic sports watches, and it has a very deep and diverse collection, but I think hands down one of the coolest Speedmasters they've ever done is the skeletonized Dark Side of the Moon. And today we've got an evolution in the collection, the new Grey Side of the Moon, released in 2025.
When it was first released, the Dark Side of the Moon really spoke to me. One, being a Speedmaster fan. Two, I'm going to age myself, being a huge Pink Floyd fan.
It was only 2013, so
it was only 2013.
That long
no,
ago.
no. I mean, just me personally, just calling something the Dark Side of the Moon. There was an album by Pink Floyd called The Dark Side of the Moon. It was one of the biggest selling albums like ever. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. And it kind of spoke to people of a certain age because it was guys who were born in 69, 70. That was when they first went to the moon. So everything just kind of came together. Then they did the Grey Side of the Moon, the white side of the moon. And so I was like, how many sides of the moon are there? But like we said, they are deep in their catalog. They do a lot of variations on familiar themes. If you want a different version, it probably exists.
Right.
But this is the newest of the Grey Side of the Moon.
And going back to 1968, where you're talking about three astronauts, actually Christmas Eve, they went for the first time to the dark side of the moon, or you could call it the far side. And it was kind of this mystery. What is on the far dark side, right? And essentially their review was, it's pitch black, the moon's very dark, and essentially gray. And that's where the inspiration came from the Grey Side of the Moon. So Omega really romanticized that and said, you know, how can we play with these colors? Now, when Dark Side of the Moon was first released, it was the first time they did a Speedmaster in a ceramic case.
Correct.
Which was a really big deal because ceramic cases are really hard to make.
The one thing that I found incredible about ceramic watches was that you have to cast them 30% larger than their final form. So they're going to shrink by around 30%. And to get all the holes right for the case and everything, and engineering-wise, I just found it was absolutely fascinating.
And to get to the 44.25,
it's incredible work.
Consistently is very interesting. So we've seen the Grey Side before, but not in the skeletonized version. We saw the first skeletonized version in 2018 in black, some fun colorways on that. But now we get the Grey Side.
This is maybe the prettiest variant of the skeleton
so
far. Something about that gray with all of the cratering. There is a photorealistic impression of the moon on the watch itself, and doing it in the gray like this, that grayscale, that iridescence, it looks like the moon.
It really does. So on this updated version, we have a slightly slimmer case than before, 12.97 millimeters thick. Can we just call it 13?
Yeah, just call it 13.
44.25 millimeter case. Now the lugs have increased slightly in size. They're now 50 millimeters lug to lug. They've gained about 2 millimeters since previous models.
Yeah, which is really interesting. That was one of the things that really made the first Omega in Space wearable for me, was that it had a longer lug to lug on a smaller watch. I am curious at how people are going to receive this little bit of length. So really incredible on this is the finishing levels. You have this absolutely glorious high polish matched against a satin, and the overall effect, it has this glow to it like I've never seen before.
More reflective?
Yeah, well, definitely in the high polish.
Shinier?
And as they've gotten more and more down the line, they've been able to do better and better ceramics, harder ceramics, things of that nature. So one of the things that makes ceramic great is how scratch resistant it is.
Right.
So to do a satin finish on something that hard cannot be easy. And they did a fantastic job with it. It mirrors right into the dial. The way they did the subdials, kind of pipe hand on this one. And then the running seconds hand part of the dial actually is a see-through all the way back into the movement, which is fabulous. You have cratering on both sides of the movement. Overall, the effect is this warmth, this glow like I've never seen on a Speedmaster before.
Now, for first time in the whole Dark Side of the Moon collection, we have movements that are coaxial and master chronometer rated. So this is an updated movement with those certifications. Hand wound 60-hour power reserve.
Pretty big upgrade.
Yeah. And I don't think you can, it's very rare we see skeletonized watches with an automatic movement. And I don't think you could in this because it would take away from all the nice detailing on the back.
You would lose a lot of what makes this watch really awesome. And honestly, having one and kind of always having had one, I like spending that time. We move so fast. We have so many things coming at us day to day that to take that moment to stop and wind your watch, man, breathe. It's a really nice kind of centering thing for me, but I'm a watch nerd, so.
The new Grey Side of the Moon comes on 2 different straps. There's a textile strap, which we have it here in person, and then also a rubber strap, which is maybe the cooler model because when you flip it over in the back, it has that crater embossing just like the moon.
I love how hard they're leaning into that.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fantastic.
It's a great detailing, and I've spoken to someone who's already been wearing it, and they said you don't notice it, and it's still very comfortable.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would. But and then you have a titanium and ceramic buckle, single fold deployant,
which is nice. It gives you a little bit more strength on there. And then we like a folding buckle on a ceramic watch because they are a little bit more fragile. We don't want to drop them, so it keeps it a little bit more safe.
I am a big proponent of deployant buckles. I mean, you don't have that fumble moment.
Right.
I think it's really important. Even then, I still do it over my bed. I like single folds as well. They tend to hold to the wrist a little bit better.
So who's this watch for? If you can get access to it, I think it's going to be really hot and hard to get.
Yeah.
This is a really cool, fun watch. If you appreciate Speedmasters,
it's
if you
for
want
everybody.
Something different. Yeah, if you're like, I see this watch and I think this is really stunning and striking and I find it super interesting, go for it. I mean, that's...
Yeah. No, if you can get it, if you like it, buy it. It's as simple as that. I think every watch guy likes it. Even non-watch people go, oh, that's interesting.
Right.
I
It's
really,
super cool.
I can't see anybody who this isn't for.
Let us know what you think of the new Grey Side of the Moon in the comments below. Also, if you want to see more Omega content like this, specific watch reviews, let us know. We're Oliver Smith Jeweler. We have an Omega boutique in Aspen, Colorado. We'd love to see you there. You can also shop live at our website, oliversmithjeweler.com.
And thanks for watching, guys. We really do appreciate it.